talked about like giving less attention to some stuff, but or like the negative things. Sometimes I find when I try to give less attention to something, I'm actually giving it more attention. So I'm just kind of wondering how to distance myself from negative thoughts or thought patterns, and just like care less. When I'm in this space of just like caring less, then I can really let go, I've found. So just wondering how to kind of expand on that space.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes. So, well, we'll just give you some practical things here because spirituality is not very woo-woo. It's just pretty practical. And one of the things that made this new life difficult for this vessel was she couldn't get anybody to tell her how to let go. Everybody was saying God and tattooing it on their shoulder, but nobody knew how to actually do it. And we think this might be some of what you're saying. So whatever feels like resistance to you, it's just a little, or there's some thoughts, things going on there. And you are asking, how do I detach from it? Well, when all else fails, just distract yourself. Take a nap. Watch a movie. Go for a walk. You see, the mind is relentless. The mind in our culture, in our evolution as humanity, has lost its mind. The mind, for the vast majority of humanity, is ruling the roost. It is in the driver's seat of your life. There's always a choice here. Your mind can drive the car, or your soul can drive the car. And we hear you, young man, and this is a common to everyone. And so the first thing we say is be patient with yourself, be gentle, and don't give up. Meditate. If you will meditate consistently every day that you can, even if it's 5 minutes or 10, even if your mind is running wild while you're meditating, if you can even just hold your body still and focus on your breath, this will help you in the moments that you are describing when your mind is kind of relentless and not wanting to let go of a thing. It will eventually begin to bleed into the practicalities of your life if you make time. And so just come with no expectations and be gentle with yourself. Sit still for 5 minutes if you can. If you can sit still for 5, then go for 10, and so on. And if your mind wanders off, don't worry about it. It's just like a little puppy. If you had a new puppy and you brought it home and the puppy wandered off, you wouldn't beat it or scold it or think it couldn't get his act together. Well, of course you wouldn't. You would just go get it and bring it back. And if it wandered off again, you would go get it and bring it back. And so your mind is going to wander when you meditate. So what? Just bring it back to your breath. Bring it back to your breath over and over as many times as you need. And be very patient with yourself. And over time, you will see changes. Now, so when you're hung up and thoughts are on something and you're trying not to give it your attention, but your mind is being relentless, your mind is behind the wheel, it is taking you for a really bad ride through a very bad neighborhood late at night, and it just won't let go. Well, just let it go until it runs out of gas. Just like a 2-year-old that plays and plays and plays and plays and plays and plays and plays until finally it's so exhausted it lays down in the middle of the floor and goes to sleep. So eventually your mind will run out of gas. and it will let go. And in the meanwhile, you can just say to yourself, well, there's my mind doing that thing it does. Just, oh, well, I guess today my mind's just running around like a crazy little 2-year-old. Well, I guess it'll get tired of this after a while. And just be gentle with yourself. And meanwhile, keep meditating. And if you can, distract yourself with something that has a better energy around it. If you're trying to tackle a problem and there's a lot of resistance and darkness and anxiety around it, urgency, you see, there is a real fallacy in this culture. Everything seems urgent. But we found that generally this is almost always a lie unless you're bleeding to death. So urgency wants to try to force you into taking an action that's not in alignment with your soul. So young man, if you feel urgent, do what you can to move that to the back burner. Distract yourself with something else that has a better energy around it for the moment. And you might find that with a little time, what seems so urgent suddenly becomes unimportant. And meanwhile, if your mind sometimes goes on a joyride to places that you really don't want to go, well, try to laugh about it and just wait till it's run out of gas. And then go to bed, and when you get up in the morning, begin again. Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
You're so welcome.